lahat. Welcome to Sports SPNation Season 2. My name is Sel Guevara and we have here Martin Antonio and Javi Palanya. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Sel.
All right, so what do we have for today? Ngayon, pag-uusapan natin na is more local basketball. So let's start with UAAP. We have the Final Four picks. So I want to pick your brains on this. So let's start with Martin.
Well, ako lagi akong kakampi sa NBA. Galing ako sa academic meeting kasi kanina.
Red na red.
Oh, hindi, galing.
Nakasan beda shirt
kasi galing po ako.
Napakaba.
Hindi, galing kasi ako sa curricular meeting na parang focus group discussion.
So magtuturo ka na ba?
Pag-improve.
Paki-zoom ng logo. Paki-zoom.
Kaya alam niyo na kung...
Para makita yung bias.
Alam niyo kung...
Please zoom it.
Hindi, alam niyo na saan ako kampi sa championship. Kampi ako sa Beda kahit mapuwa. At saka, hindi. Biro lang. I was at a meeting. Pero ito, Final Four picks. First of all, heartbreaker for UE. Habs, ang bigat nun, yung skid nila. Babawi yan next year, so kudos to that. But ito yung lamadong-lamado kasi agad pagpasok itong Lasal number 1 against Adamson. I love Coach Nash, I played for Coach Nash. Good matchup, but it's for Lasal to really take care of business. And UP, USC, interesting matchup that could really be extended. We'll see. But iba kasi yung charisma ni Coach Pidoy na he really brings out the most out of his players.
Yeah, for me, one thing's for sure is the games tomorrow will be very, very tight, for sure. I mean, itong Adamson-Lasal matchup, many people are saying na sure na tong Lasal na papasok sa championship. But I think for Adamson, the way that they've been playing the past couple of games, especially in that game against UE, you know, this is a different Adamson team than what we've seen, especially from the first round. The way that they've been peaking towards the latter part of this season has been very beneficial para sa kanila. Yung pag-angat ni Monty Montebon sa kanyang laro, and also Cedric Manzano. I think the change for Adamson has really been highlighted by Monty Montebon's increase in terms of his assist numbers. I think he was so much pressure to score during the first round that it was so predictable to defend him. Kaya ngayon na talaga nag-adjust siya, he started passing the ball. 7 assists siya per game the past couple of games. So that was so beneficial para sa kanila, and it really helped them against the UE Red Warriors, and I think that's gonna help them against Lasal in their Final Four matchup tomorrow. Para naman dun sa UP versus UST matchup, you know, this is something that we're gonna really look forward to because medyo may history tong dalawang schools sa Final Four.
Malalim na history.
Ayaw natin maulit. Well, you know, me coming from UP, medyo may konting bias. I don't want to see any Renzo Subido shot happening toward the latter part of the game. But even if UP won their first 2 matches in the elimination round, I still think that UST can keep this close. But the key for them is really to be able to dominate the rebounds and for them to be able to run out in transition and also convert on their 3-point shots. Ang X-factor dito para sa UST is Fortsky Padrigao.
Napanggit mo nga kayo na Monty Montebon, Fortsky Padrigao, Kevin Kiambao, top 3 when it comes to usage rate. Number 1, may kagulangan. He has been handling the ball and really rewarded right now to be one of the top 5 players of UP. On the flip side, for UP, they need to control the rebounding battle kasi if UP has trouble, despite they have size, pagka-aggressive yung mga umaatake for the rebounds. And since UST, they don't have much ceiling to their roster, a handful of 6'4" and above players, pero they have guards who really get after it. So that's one thing na kailangan natin tignan. And on the Adamson and Lasal side naman, passing for Adamson, they need to share that basketball because we know that Lasal defense will be up there on their grill from the get-go.
Yeah, I was going to talk about, you know, DLSU defense. So how can Adamson make themselves unpredictable? Because it's safe to say that DLSU can study can study, say, Monty and then be like, okay, ito pala yung estilo nito eh. So, you know, they can set traps and whatnot. So, what do you think is the way for this match to be exciting?
Isa lang eh. Ako from my perspective as a coach, iniwan na ng NU yung blueprint eh. Kailangan umangat-ngat ka eh. You can't back down from this Lasal squad. First game of the season na nagkita ang NU and Lasal. NU was not backing down and they were putting pressure and Lasal needed the best game of Kevin Kiambao early in the season. They needed the best version of KQ in that game para maitawid yung panalo na yun. And in the second round, yun nga, gumangat-ngat pa rin yung NU, yun yung naging teamwork. So para makapag-compete ka sa team na ganun kalakas like Lasal, kaya kailangan to full throttle ka talaga na wala, no tomorrow.
Very, very mental, Ravi.
Yeah, and Coach Hammer, you mentioned earlier na they have to really move that basketball. And in moving that basketball, that gives you a lot more options. So some guys also have to step up. Aside from Cedric Manzano and Monty Montebon, I think John Calisay and Wawa Yero, the team captain of the Adamson Soaring Falcons this year, they have to step up in terms of their offensive production and not just rely on Manzano and Montebon to shoot para sa kanila, because this will give the LaSalle defense a lot more problems, and this will help them keep the game close as they go by, because yan naman talaga ang key para sa Adamson. Generally, you just have to give yourselves a chance para makasilat ka sa dulo.
Pajab-jab ka lang.
lang.
Team matchup, Franzman Kiambao. If Franzman can at least be at 70-80% of the production ni KQ, may chance may magandang chance ang Adamson to at least steal a game or keep it close, and then sa dulo magkatalo na lang.
Last thoughts on the UP-UST match. It's very hard to rely on just a few guys, especially when the stakes are getting higher. So how do we want to kind of like spread out the portfolio for these two teams?
Coach Pido had it terrific. Coach Pido, I played for the guy, and he just brings out the best in his.
That's why I wanted to ask you that, because you know him firsthand.
Playing for him for a handful of conferences, he really encourages. Parang gusto mo magpakamatay pagka siya yung coach mo.
Yeah.
So yun yung magiging effect niya. Pero again, it's one thing na magpapakamatay ka lang. It's another thing that you have a concrete plan of doing it.
Right.
So Emil Acido, big time kailangan, big time recruit, stepping up. Di lang pwede si Nick Cabanyero at si Fortsky Padirigaw. And itong mga kanilang iba pang kakampi, si Estacio na Leland has been up and down the season. So hopefully, they can compete dahil napakalalim ng UP. Ang lalim na hanggang yung Team B, pwede mong gawing starter.
Yes,
Ganon sila kalalim. 20-man roster, yung 5 hindi na na-line up sa sobrang bigat ng top 15 nila.
Yeah, and para sa UST, the thing for them, I think one thing that they can do is they can make JD Kagulangan a scorer, because JD Kagulangan is the key for UP. When he's on the floor and he's facilitating, he's really setting the tone sa opensa nila, maganda ang tinatakbo ng UP. But when it's just JD Kagulangan scoring the basketball, parang nawawalan ng shine yung iba niyang teammates. So parang medyo nawawalan sila ng kumpiyansa. So it's important that UST tries to make JD Kagulangan the guy who will shoot for UP. And I think for me, that's going to give them a big chance of keeping this close and maybe forcing a rubber match against the Fighting Maroons.
Very hard to compete against a team with a deep lineup. So, guys, I have to close UAAP because we have to move on to the next MPBL. Okay. Finals is in Dubai. Okay, Dubai. As MPBL anchors and analysts yourselves and a courtside reporter to complete the roster. Okay, pag-usapan natin ng mga players doon, and what is the atmosphere of this finals going to be like with an international exposure like this in Dubai?
Masaya, syempre, kasi ang laki ng Filipino community sa Dubai. When they first got there, nung naglaro, I was with that trip. All-Star game pa lang. All-Star lang yun. Tapos I think it was, hindi pa Bacoor Imus yung isang naglaro.
Yeah.
Si Gerald was there in Batangas. Si Derek naman. So it was a showcase for the league. But it's a different atmosphere. Sila Kuya Mike Garcia, former players, big Filipino community there. Pero going into the game, unang-una yung travel Ang hirap ng travel, ang hirap mag-settle in. Practices nyo, hindi ko alam kung saan sila maglalaro kasi yung isang venue parang pool na tinakpan. Ganun yung nilaroan namin dati doon. So hopefully teams will adjust, but isa lang naman yung tanong dyan Kaya si Balti, sino ko control kay Balti? Kasi Justin Baltazar is the best big man right now in the Philippines.
Question, when you're on the road, sa mga out-of-town games, as from a player and coach perspective, Martin, what difficulties does it bring? Di ba dapat medyo, yes, of course, expected, dapat fighter ka, but what adjustments make it a little extra difficult?
Well, una yung time difference. You're adjusting your sleep patterns. Number 2, yung comfort level mo matulog. Kasi that goes hand in hand If you can't sleep, you won't be able to perform kahit na ligang labas yan, kahit na collegiate league yan. That would be difficult. Number 2, yung schedule. Kasi the travel time, I remember when we played there, it was 45 minutes from Burj Khalifa yung lalaroan na venue.
Right.
And then the hotel was 30 minutes from Khalifa to downtown. So parang all in all, 1 hour and 15 yung travel pa lang. And yung travel nila is dire-diretso pero iba yung climate sa labas. Mainit mainit and humid. Kailangan mo mag-adjust talaga big time, and yung usual habits mo na ginagawa na pagdating mo sa game, meron kang rituals na okay, shooting ako, mag-lift ako ng weights, ito yung mga kailangan kong gawin, it would be put into a blender. Dahil yung oras mo, time management, babalansin yung kabilang team. Pero the pros, the ones that really take care of business, sanay sila sa ganun.
Right. Speaking of these challenges, let's crunch the numbers and the backgrounder on the previous games. I want to talk to Javi about it. Who do we expect to, step up or has to sustain performance in this finals match?
Well, sinabi na ni Coach Hammer yan kanina, no? For Pampanga, obviously, it's the reigning MVP, Justin Baltazar, and of course, Enzo Serrano, along with Archie Concepcion and MJ Garcia. These 4 guys have really been the pillars of the Pampanga Giant Lanterns since last year. And also, especially ito si MJ Garcia, he has improved vastly this season at the point guard spot. From a guy that was, just an athletic wing guy and coming off the bench, bringing the energy. Now, he has the keys to the offense for Pampanga. And I think he's one of the reasons why Pampanga is on the verge of being the first back-to-back champions in MPBL history. Now, for the Quezon Huskers, it's very difficult para sa kanila because Pampanga is the tallest team in the MPBL and they don't really have a guy to match up one-on-one with Balti Baltazar, especially because Will Gozum was sidelined early during the season. Yan sana ang panapat nila. So, sino ang papanapat mo dyan? You only have guys like Simon Sandagon, and then you have maybe guys like Lander Cannon coming off the bench. But for me, the key for Quezon, I think, is for Gab Banal to step up. The former MVP has to play like an MVP once again. Because the thing for me was, why did you get a guy like Gab Banal if you're the Quezon? Hindi siya ma-maximize eh. So I think that Coach Eric Gonzalez has realized that during the playoffs, and we have seen flashes of brilliance galing kay Gab Banal. But for Quezon to even make this interesting, I think Gab has to put in at least 15 to 18 points per game.
If Gab is going to step up and be utilized that way, we're looking at your screens, the previous meetings has these numbers. Are these going to drastically change or?
Well, dikit lang naman eh. Dikit lang. It's a 6-point spread. You need to have a different focal point for your offense dahil with the way Pampanga's playing, they know how to scheme you out if you're a big guy, and they know how to defend pick and rolls. That's number 1 in the MPBL dahil guard-dominated league. So if you're able to neutralize that, again, quote-unquote, Flores and Baltazar switching dun sa ilalim kasi si Balti sanay na dumidepensa in space. So that's a big deal for Pampanga. They need another guy that can put pressure. Maybe Gab Banal can play that a little bit of 4 pag nagsasabay sila ng Sandangon para ma-maximize yung post-up skill set kasi magaling pumoste si Gab. Wag lang sana marinig ni Ael at saka ni Coach JB. Pero sana, ang ginawa na nila, pinirma nilang package yung tatlo para meron ng isa pang
yun
assistant coach.
Yun ang pinakamaganda sana.
Meron kang isang multi-skill player. Ael, pwede ka pa. At saka, syempre, of course, Gab is Gab. And yung seatmate ko yan, nung pumunta kami ng Canada. So, seatmate, we're looking forward to it. And we know naman that with Coach Eric Gonzalez, he is known as a defensive coordinator. He knows how to scheme players out of their comfort zones. So, if you're going to try to at least alleviate the production nito ni Balti, kailangan mag-step up din yung mga kakampi niya, which is Archie Concepcion. Grabe, laki ng improvement. Ang laki ng improvement. So, it's really a heavy workload, but again, that's what basketball is for.
Yeah, nakakapagod yung magsuscore ka or kailangan mo din pumoste at the same time.
Kailangan mo dumitin.
Taxing.
Ganun talaga. Pero kaya sila mga professional basketball players. That's what they're paid for. They're paid to win. So now it's winning time.
Exciting to watch. Javi.
And for Quezon, we also have to highlight itong si Judel Fuentes at si LJ Gonzalez. These two guys are very key for the success of the Quezon Huskers in this series. remember, this is a best-of-5 series. So if Quezon can get one of these games in Dubai, because come back here in the Philippines, the next game will be at the Brenzigao Convention Center, the home of the Pampanga Giant Lancers. So important para sa Quezon na makaisa sila sa Dubai, because alam naman natin na hindi pa natatalo ang Pampanga sa kanilang home court since last year. And this season, the last time Pampanga lost was last August 30. That was against San Juan. They've never lost during this playoff, so it's really going to be a literally tall order for the Quezon Huskers, because aside from Balti, they have a roster of other guys coming off the bench, guys like Lervin Flores, guys like that to bring the energy. So kailangan ma-sustain talaga ng Quezon Huskers. And I'm sure, in the coaching battle, maganda rin na magiging tapatan dyan.
Definitely.
Because Pampanga, they do have Coach Raiko Toroman as an active consultant, as well as Coach Charles Chu also helping out right there. The Converge Brain Trust helping the Pampanga Giants.
Coach Willie Miller.
Tama!
Oh, yung
Grabe, no?
Yun yung X-Factor. Yun yung X-Factor.
Raiko Toroman, Willie Miller, pare.
Yun ang X-Factor.
Hope to see you soon.
Pero nabanggit nga, Judel Fuentes, big-time player, sanay sa pressure situation, sanay na dehado naglalaro. So, he'll be an X-Factor first. Si LJ naman, alam na natin, hinog na yan eh. Pipitasin na lang yan. And yung dalawa ako, naniniwala ako na if they can compete, this would be a very interesting. Might go 4 games, might go 5, who knows. But again, this will be a very entertaining and worth the wait. Worth the wait in championship. I do agree.
That's going to be very exciting. Tsaka yan ang mga gusto natin sa finals, yung hinug na, sanay sa hirap, sanay sa pressure. Diba?
Kasi magpo-pro na yung aakyat na yung mga yan. Baka dito, baka hindi rito sa atin.
Exactly. So let's watch out for that first week of December, the finals. And there's also going to be an exhibition game on December 2.
Yes.
So,
Executives.
executives. And then this, sino kaya line-up na pinasok ng promoter ng DJMC?
Meron yan, yung Filipino community doon, may all-star sila, may liga doon. And konting trivia, KQ spent time there, di ba, nung pandemic. So he was working out with the Filipino community. So definitely, yung mga former coaches na nasa coaching staff, maglalaro yan doon.
Yeah.
And the panel will be part of it din. So sila si Delph and si Coach Mike nga. Natinanong kayo na kay Javi sino yung mga nandun. So it will be a fun game. And of course, Senator Manny and Kuya Bobby Pacquiao will be participating as per usual.
Enjoy, guys. Okay, from MPBL, now we go to the PBA. Nako, bago na namang Terra Firma. Should I stay in the PBA or not? Okay, I want to start with Javi on this first.
But it's been very questionable yung mga moves na ginagawa nila. Over the past years, they've been trading away all their top picks. They've had the top pick for how many years straight already, pero wala na lahat sa kanila ngayon. And this conference, they managed to trade away the rest of their starting lineup last year. So wala na natira dun sa core nila last year. That very promising core that they had. And now, Christian Santhardiger also retired. So even with Terence Romeo and Vic Manuel coming in, that gives a lot of questions as to how committed Terra Firma is in competing in the PBA. Does this already give them, does this give the people a reason to believe that Terra Firma is on the way out? Are they going to sell their franchise? Well, for me, let's just not look at that first, pero let's look at what happened. Terence Romeo and Vic Manuel, they're coming in from the San Miguel Beermen. And these two guys, I believe they still have a lot to give sa kanilang mga karera. And I think they can contribute right away to this squad. And even with Christian Stan Hardinger out, I think the players that they have dito sa Terra Firma Jeep, they still can compete. The question is lang, gusto pa ba nila?
I want to just add a brief backgrounder to this whole situation before I stitch it with Coach Hammer. Christian Stan Hardinger came from Barangay Ginebra and surprise trade po siya going to Terra Firma. And then we now know that Christian Stan Hardinger is retiring. So I want to know their opinions on this. But yeah, Coach Hammer, please.
Quote-unquote,
continue.
retiring.
Yes. Exactly! Yeah, okay. Your thoughts?
Simple lang yan. If gusto pa maglaro ni Christian Santhardinger, naka-base na yan. Kasi nakikita natin in public, he looks like in shape. He looks like in one of the better shapes that he has been the past few years. Kasi marami ring iniinda to. Kasi pag naglaro si Santhardinger, parang jumbo size Rudy Hatfield Di ba? Kasi pag naglaro siya ganun, tama siya,
galing,
di ba?
ang galing.
Kasi idol na idol si Rudy Hatfield
Galing.
Sinlaki ko si Hatfield, 6'4".
Yeah.
60. Si Star Dardinger, 6'7".
A few more inches taller, but...
And when you fall down and you have that much of a work rate, alam mo yan, nabubuhay tayo. Pag mas mabigat ka, yung mga minor aches and pains, minsan mas grabe.
Yes.
And with the way that he has been extending his play throughout the past few conferences, naramdaman din niya, pwede na sinabing, mag-retire na ako kasi expiring deal din siya.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. If I'm from the outside looking in, he just wants to be a free agent. Bottom line, that's it. He wants to be part of a competing team. I love you, Coach Monkey Chonko. Congrats being the interim head coach. But again, if an elite player wants to be a free agent, yun lang talaga yun. Sasabihin nila magre-retire sa. Unless the retirement papers is signed, notarized, and delivered to the PBA office, everything would be hearsay. And sinasabi nga, may interview si Commissioner Willie Marshall that Tena Firma can extend a contract. Okay, just to keep his rights. But is it a better option than just look? Might as well trade him, get a few pieces back, get some draft picks, and then rebuild. Ganun naman yan. You want to stay, you have to build. Dahil kung titignan mo, Troy Rosario, Star Dardinger, CJ Perez, Isaac Go, Roosevelt Adams, Heading, Munzon, Gray, Holt, RJ Abarientos. Line up to ng Gilas eh.
Yeah, can we have
pop up nga.
For that, please?
Oo. Si Adams na nga hindi kasama sa pool ng Gilas dito eh. Kasi yung passport niya, late na kuha eh. Tingnan nyo. Mamaya makikita natin yung graphic at the bottom of your screens. Kasi Troy Rosario, Gilas. Star Hardinger served in Gilas. CJ Perez, still part of Gilas.
Right.
Isaac Go injured, but still with Gilas. Part of the pool of Gilas. Roosevelt Adams siya nga. Jordan Heading, naglaro. Joshua Munzon, inaantay niya ng Gilas. Matagal na. Served in the national team for 3x3. Jeremiah Holt, when he was part of the pool, nagka-injury lang. So, sayang. Stephen Holt, this guy. Box office silent killer, but everybody praying for him to be part of Gilas because he's a 6'5" shooting guard. And then RJ Abarientos, we know RJ Abarientos and we know the capabilities of this young man. And ito yung pinakawalan nila. So if you're Terra Firma, do you want to compete? Okay, sige, deal with the cards that is being dealt to you. If Star Dardinger doesn't want to play, if I was a general manager, look, we'll find you a suitable trade partner. Life moves on. That's pro sports.
Well, it looks like the game is not over for him. I mean, this is just a personal opinion, okay? I mean, if he is in great shape, first of all, I'm very happy for him because strength and conditioning for a PF or a center is very, very difficult. I mean, let's just talk about, okay, good friend, Junmar Fajardo, big guy, always banging it out inside. Ano yan yung pressure sa balakang mo dyan, ang hirap yan Oo. So, happy for him that he's in great shape. Yeah.
Kasi nakapahinga eh.
Yes.
Yun yung importante. With he was injured last conference. Could have been really a big help for Ginebra. And then he got traded. Tapos, up and down yung nilalaro kasi it's the aches and pains and it accumulates.
Right.
Remember, he got here in the Philippines and here to 2017, but he already had a lot of mileage playing in the ABL, playing international. Yun ang importante dyan. So, he's getting up there in age, but maybe a conference of rest will help a lot.
Okay, so if we are hoping that his career is not gonna come to an end and he looks like he's in great shape, what if he decides to return to the league but he does it by retirement first and then getting in shape? Javi, how does this change his career?
Well, obviously, he's still gonna be a commodity that many teams would want to have. 35 years old, marami pa itong pwede ibigay. I mean, come on, Rafi Rivas is 47 years old and he's still a vital cog of the Magnolia franchise as of now. So, for Christian Stan Hardinger, he's at 35, parang 25 pa lang yan.
Ginamit mo si Rafi Rivas. Si Rafi Rivas na panood ko ng rookie sa San Juan Arena, yung sa likuran ng Agora Market. Si Coach Chito Victolero pa yung point guard niya.
Edad mo!
Hindi, NBA days pa. Grade 4 ako nun. Brad, pinanood namin yan doon.
Inamin mo edad mo, Coach Hammer.
Isipin mo, grade 4 ako. 38 na ako ngayon. 47, naglalaro pa rin siya. Grabe yung commitment nung mama na yun. And he still helps the team.
Yeah.
Diba? So, Star Hardinger, younger guy, in better shape.
Yeah.
But again, as a choice yan.
But you know, to answer Sal's question, I don't think it changes how he is looked at as a player. He's still a guy that can contribute. He's still a guy who can give you heavy minutes and really give you good play on both sides of the floor. Siguro, ang mag-iiba lang siguro is how they deal with him in terms of the negotiations.
That's what we want to know. So what's gonna happen if he retires, comes back?
Well, for one, I think he's gonna go to a team that is willing to really pay him the big bucks. Because on a personal opinion, the reason why hindi sila nagkaayos sa Terra Firma is talagang sa contract negotiations na naman yan. Because, you know, with all that we said already, with all that we discussed, it seems that talagang pwede pa talaga siya maglaro. And, you know, syempre, at this point of his career, he wants to make sure na hindi na siya makukulangan dun sa pagbayad sa kanya. I mean, after all, this is professional basketball.
Yeah.
And he wants to reap what he sowed.
I like the capitalist answer, my friend. There's a lot of zeros involved with that.
I mean, come on, let's be real.
Good for the honesty and the transparency. Go ahead.
Best yun eh. Ako, if I was putting myself in the shoes of whoever represents Christians or Dardinger, yeah, we'll take the tender offer, but you gotta trade us. Sign and trade. Ganun lang ka-simple. Put it there, or if you don't trade us, we'll just retire. We'll just go abroad. Okay, wala namang pirma yung tender offer. So I'm technically a free agent.
Yes.
And if you don't want me to be a quote-unquote free agent like Troy Rosario, hindi ko alam yung fine print na contract nila, we'll just find employment elsewhere. Kasi former team niya naglalaro ngayon. Hong Kong Eastern, nandiyan sa ano. And then there are a lot of leagues sprouting from all over Southeast Asia. And if you got a 6'8" guy who has an unlimited motor, pero may medyo limited na dahil marami siyang nararamdaman, but who has a motor, you would get gainfully employed for the next 5 years. So again, tama si Javi, he's just looking at the team that can give the biggest bucks, or if I'm Terra Firma, I'm looking at the team that's willing to trade. Yeah. I need a dance partner, and if you want to observe Sir Hardinger's contract, I need to get some assets. So I can stay in the PBA and I can roll that assets to more assets in the future, which is what they're doing.
Yeah, I want to get into the mind of Christian Stan Hardinger's agent.
Actually, yeah. I don't think he's given any statement yet, no? Wala pa eh.
I don't see anything yet.
Wala pa eh.
Not even clues from tabloids or what. Wala.
I just see him gallivanting around the metro.
In great shape,
yeah, in great shape.
Galing!
In slides, in a white t-shirt, and just waving and saying hi every time I cross paths with him, Christian.
Or maybe the next time you see him, maybe you can ask him.
Oh, no, I'm not. That is way above my pay grade. I respect the relationship that we had when we were in the ABL, just being very courteous, and let him enjoy his gallivanting, and he will find his team.
Well, Christian, if you're watching this or you come across this, well, we wish you the best of luck in your next journey.
And more bucks!
Yes,
more bucks!
But please do not retire for good, ha? If you're listening, do not retire from basketball for good. Okay, that's it for local basketball. Here in SPNation, we have what we call expert picks. Ayan, please, palabasin na po natin. So, may 10 games po tayo, no? But we're picking 3 exciting games and then sasabihin natin sa inyo ang ating mga expert picks. So, we want to show the first game, that is the Cavs between the Hawks. Take it away, Martin. Javi?
Oh, Cleveland ako dito. High scoring. Kasi babawi yan eh. Rebounds eh. Back-to-back.
Exactly.
Skip the Thanksgiving, of course. My Detroit Lions.
Yeah, we're all done with that.
Winning today. So, Cleveland looking to avenge the second loss. Just the second loss of the season. Might be taking its toll dahil malakas yung start nila. But I trust this team. Evan Mobley.
Yeah, I think they're good as advertised. I'm picking the Cavs also in this one. Siyempre, Atlanta yung nakapagbigay ng talo sa kanila. Imagine mo, 135 to 124 yung naging score nila dyan.
Oh, over 241? Oh, yeah. Natanong siya, over 241. Kasi ang taas niya, no? 135, 124.
Right?
241, over, under.
I mean, so I think it's no question that it's gonna be Cleveland for this game against Atlanta. Roster pa lang eh. I mean, Cleveland already has it, and we have guys like Donovan Mitchell really performing well. Na-mention na nga ni Coach Hammer, si Evan Mobley. All the other guys, you have si Jerome, also, tapos si Wade, mga guys off the bench, white guys off the bench who have been contributing to this.
White guys are back!
Kenny Atkinson, this has been a spectacular squad. And nobody really thought that they would be winning this much games in the start of the season. So, kudos to the Cavs. I'm picking the Cavs for this one against the Hawks.
Parang babare na yata ng scoring tong matchup na to. Okay, on to the next. We have the Celtics against the Bulls. So,
I have one question.
Yes.
Zach LaVine, when will you be traded? But this will be a game that Boston wants to circle in because Chicago has been up and down, okay? The whole season, di sila consistent, they're playing subpar, but everybody was thinking Chicago will be contending this year. So they want to stamp their class right away, especially against Eastern Conference teams. They want to really, teka lang, dyan lang kayo. Okay lang, sige matalo. Pero pagka Eastern Conference, DDE na namin yung DDE na. So, ako Boston ako dito.
Same for me. Sorry, Sal.
No, I just wanted to ask, to those of you who are just getting into the Eastern Conference matchups and whatnot, so what has been making Chicago very inconsistent, and how do you think they're going to get into the groove against Boston?
No, DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference. And I think for them, they have to be more intentional on what they really want to do. Are they really going to keep Zach LaVine, or are they looking to trade him? Because I think they have a lot of young pieces in place, but I think having Zach LaVine there has given them a lot of uncertainty as to how their future will be moving forward. I think they can get valuable assets for Zach LaVine if they do want to trade Zach LaVine, because Zach LaVine has also been inconsistent sa play niya. Kasi di rin siguro niya sure kung magsistay siya o hindi.
Yeah, dahil lagi ka may iniisip blanketed yung decision making.
It's so hard to play, or just, in general, parang when you don't know what's gonna happen next, you're dealing with uncertainty.
Yeah, pero kung gano'n kalaki yung kontrata mo, kahit trade nyo ako, lalaro lang ako.
Sabagay, no? Like, good perspective also. If you don't know what's gonna happen next to your career, go all out, man.
Kaka-renew lang yan last series. So, ngat-ngat ka lang ng ngat-ngat. Hanggat may kontrata ka, yun yung kagandahan. I mean, with Jeff Teague's podcast, that's what he always says. I'm here and I'm employed. So I give my best. If I get traded, cool. If I don't, cool.
Yeah, Coach Hammer, I want you to emphasize on that. I think that has been the problem on a lot of the athletes in today's era, that they are always thinking of a lot of outside things rather than what they would really should be doing.
My guy, too much TikTok.
Too much
and too much emotional damage.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mababa yung EQ na parang dati.
Masyado maraming feelings.
Pre, pagka pro ka, tapos tumanggap ka ng bayad, kailangan gawin mo yung trabaho. Di ba? Hindi. Hanap buhay yan.
Mabuti sana kung hindi ka binabayaran. Diyan maiintindihan kita.
Kung barkadahan yan, pwede
tapos ganyan palak-talaki. Oh my goodness.
Kung barkadahan yan, pwede ka magtampo, pero pag hindi, bayad ka eh.
Alam mo na pag-usapan namin yan ni Juan sa isang episode, no? It's the dream team back in the 90s. They had the mental resilience of talagang mga sundalo talaga.
Yun talaga. Warrior.
Yeah. So, well, let's see. Who knows? Maybe the next generations of athletes will have that. Or maybe, this generation. I'm not saying na malalambot po tayo or what. So, okay. From the East, now let's go to the West. OKC versus the Lakers on your screen. So, who do we have for this one, guys?
This is going to be a very interesting matchup, OKC versus LA. LA has been quite up and down the past few games. JJ Redick, he has won the same number of games like Darvin Ham did last year. So many people suddenly are questioning ngayon the capability of JJ Redick as a head coach. But for me, that shouldn't even be valid because this Laker team is so much different from the Laker team they had last year. This is a team that now has a system, and this is a team that is now being coached by a real coach. And LeBron is willing to be coached by JJ Redick. And going up against one of the top teams in the West, in the OKC Thunder, I think you can toss this up with both teams, pero I'm going with LA on this one because I think the Lakers are really in for a mission these past few games.
Oh yeah. Ako, nakita ko rin yun. And with watching LA, first time in his career that I've seen LeBron not dribble the life out of that basketball. I mean, it's a big thing. For OKC, Jalen Williams, medyo may nararamdaman. So, titignan natin. But I like SJ, I like OKC in this matchup. Just because they're well-rested, coming off Thanksgiving break, and these kids can play. And if there's somebody that can neutralize Anthony Davis, that is big shit. Home group.
Is he gonna play?
I hope so. I hope so.
I want to know your thoughts, sorry. I want to know your thoughts about the fate of the Lakers now that we have someone like JJ Redick who is able to make a LeBron James be coached.
Sure.
So how is that going to change, improve, or is it gonna improve the trajectory of the Lakers?
Just by watching them, no, ibang-iba yung galaw nila on the court. You could see that there really is a flow to their offense. Sinabi na nga ni Coach Hammer kanina, you don't see LeBron dribbling the life out of that basketball, and you really are seeing them making extra passes and really trying to set up Anthony Davis as the focal point of their offense. And you know, the knowledge that JJ Redick has been able to gain from being an analyst and his relationship with LeBron has really helped a lot in him taking the mantle as the head coach of the Lakers this season. So with this addition with JJ Redick as the head coach this year, I think the Lakers are going to go farther than what they did last year.
Exciting,
Yeah,
Coach Hammer.
but they have older players, so that's kasi if you're looking at in all sports across the board,
Yes.
the number one thing is how healthy you are entering the playoffs.
Yes.
That's the money rounds it. So the only thing that the Lakers need to do, because they have a very competent coach. I am enjoying the way that this guy has been coaching. I hated him when he was playing for Duke, JJ Redick, but he made a believer out of me. He is a basketball savant. Tsaka mayabang eh.
Yeah.
Ayaw magpatalo.
Exactly.
Ayaw niyang nag-iitsura siyang mahina compared to other coaches.
Pogi eh.
Yeah, tsaka may
Yeah,
diin
he
eh.
is handsome.
May diin eh. May diin may investment dun sa ginagawa niya. Yeah, hopefully they get a few more mga contract buyouts. Maybe if Ben Simmons is on the move, LeBron might bring out some in him because he is
Oh my
with
God,
Clutch.
really?
He is with Clutch Sports.
No!
I don't know. I mean,
No!
we really don't know eh. Kung sino yung
Ben
mga
Simmons,
pieces.
wag din. Ben Simmons,
Alam mo sino
mag-retire ka na.
Laurie Markin din eh.
Ben
Yun
Simmons,
talaga.
mag-retire ka na.
And
The hate!
and my favorite Steven Adams. Oh my God, I think they need
Steven Adams would be a good addition para sa
a few more live bodies for that Lakers kasi they're relying a lot sa mga Christie, mga ganyan na. Okay, they would get there, but you need some grizzled veterans on that rotation.
What can a Steven Adams bring to the table if he gets more exposure?
I mean,
What do you think? I
a
mean,
lot.
Just
the physicality that he's able to play with, and yun nga, the influence dun sa mga batang players nila. Especially, marami nga sila kasing batang big men eh.
Dalawa lang, it's either sobrang bata or sobrang tanda.
You want to have something in the middle to link that.
Okay, kasi ako big Steven that's my type of player. Na veteran, wouldn't command so much, would just rebound and he would just set screens. He wouldn't care if he makes a basket as long as he gets everybody in line. Yung veterano.
He's like a glue, stabilizer, whatever you call that. All right, so thank you, gentlemen. That's it for our SPNation expert picks of the NBA. So always check that out sa ating show, ha? Kasi we have, like right now, we have 10 games, but we will pick 3 special ones that we will show to you. Ngayon, pakinggan naman natin kung ano ang panayam ng ating mga viewers. Now, let's begin. On your screens from, is this TikTok or Facebook? Hi, Kuya Habs!
Sup, Daph?
So, that is Madeline Daphne Cristobal. Thank you very much for following us. And then next, we have on, this is from TikTok. Lakers all the way. Pusta pati 13
Para mahirap yan na.
Pre,
huwag mo gagawin yan.
Wag!
Pre, pag itataya mo yung 13th month pay mo, siguraduhin mo, pinariband mo na yung misis mo, ha? Ako, hindi pwede, so siguraduhin mo muna yan, ha?
Kung pinusta mo 13th month mo, siguraduhin mo lang wala ka pang pamilya. Kung may pamilya ka pa, baka wala ka na sa bahay mo pagkatapos ng taon na to.
Sana wag lang niya ibuhos sa isa. Pupusta siya ng
Bomba yan.
13.
Mahirap kasi, mahirap eh. Ito mo, all the way. It's either all in or all out. Hindi pa parlay yan. Kilala ko mga
Nothing in the middle.
Kilala ko mga Pilipino, extension to ng California. It's either Golden State Warriors o LA Lakers ang tatayaya.
I wish you the best of luck. Hirap niya. Okay, next we got TT of Manila, Lasal all the way. Tambak lagi yung Adamson. Tapos UP kalaban sa finals. 2-0 din doon. So, no stopping back-to-back. Die-hard Lasal fan.
Oh, I bet.
I beg to differ. I don't think it's gonna be 2-0 in the finals. Yes, I do believe that UP LaSalle will make the championship, but I don't think it's gonna be 2-0. I think it's gonna go the distance.
And I hope it will because of what Adamson displayed during that upset game, right?
Yeah,
So,
at
I
saka,
mean,
sabi nga ni Cap
Ano
Alvin
ganyan?
Patrimonio, gagawin natin to para sa fans.
para sa fans! Yes! Buhay. Tuloy-tuloy lang ang pagbuhay sa UAAP. Okay, do we have more? Do we have more? Okay, Champion Online Shop says, exciting yan MPBL Final. Sana gawing Division 2 na lang ng PBA.
Okay yan.
Para dun na lang lumaro yung mga farm teams sa PBA. Kita nyo naman Pampanga all out, 500 strong going to Dubai. Yeah, you know, MPBL.
Wow, what a delegation.
Exactly. I mean, we've been around so many leagues, myself included. The fan base of the MPBL just does not disappoint.
Oo naman. Kasi regional basketball yun eh. They have emotional investment.
Yeah.
Uy, kababayan ko to. Yun yung meron yung PBA
Yes.
dati. Yung mga inaantay yung mga player para makipagkwentuhan lang kahit 2 minutes sa Ultra. Ultra pa nun, di pa Phil Sports eh, di ba? Yun yung mga kinukwento nila Coach Saldi, nila Daddy Rudy. Na merong para kaming parte ng team eh.
Yes.
Parang nandyan din kami. So yun that's the strength of the MPBL, regional basketball, kahit yung mga ligang labas. Kaya yun yung mga nagra-rumble sa Facebook. Bentang-benta eh. Pagka pinanood, uy, grabe, laging puno. Tapos yun, 500 strong yung delegation nila. Pagpunta sa Dubai, di biro yan. So maganda. Agree ako dun sa Division 2 Parang sa EuroLeague, top 4 teams will battle it out with the bottom 4 teams, laglagan, and then aakyat. Ang problema lang kasi dyan yung presyuhan eh.
Yeah, that's true.
Talaga. Pera ang ano dyan eh. Yung, kasi malaki ang kota ng PBA exponentially over MPBL.
Yes.
So magdi-division 2, paano magtatapat yung 4 na teams? Pocket tournament, na single elimination, top 4 will make it to the next conference ng PBA. Tapos yung nalaglag na PBA team, so kayo sa MPBL maglalaro.
Speaking of EuroLeague, no, that's such a dream for any sports fan. Parang tribal sila eh.
Exactly.
I mean,
and that's why rabid yung fan base ng mga EuroLeague teams eh. Grabe talaga eh. It's equal to what the football teams are having there.
I was gonna say that, very tribal, just like in Northern England, diba? It's just...
Actually, ganun din naman sa atin sa college eh. A handful of collegiate. LaSalle, now, State U, UST, Ateneo, San Beda, Letran. Yung may mga yung traditionally strong alumni support. Ginebra. Ngayon yan, walang alumni yan eh. San Miguel. Well, San Miguel ngayon na lang ulit nakaka-recover kasi nung late 80s yan talagang team eh.
Right.
Tapos Añejo, Ginebra, ngayon lumalakasan din yung pero yung mga top upper echelon teams na kasi napapa-focus tayo dito sa sabi nga nila Terra Firma, ganyan. Eh may mga investment yung mga tao yung Ginebra kasi Ginebra pagka may laro para ring boxing ni Senator Manny. Pag Manila Classico, bumababa yung krimen sa Metro Manila. Kailangan mga ganyan yung quality. Diba? Ganyan yung quality ng mga naglalaro.
Well, let's see. Have you any last thoughts on that?
I mean, for me, I'm very happy that the MPBL is there. Because for the longest time, the Filipinos have been wanting an NBA style of league dito sa ating bansa. And we're getting that with the PBL. And we have Senator Manny Pacquiao to take for that. So I think, marami pang plano ang MPBL in the future. So let's watch out for that.
Ang dami na nga nil-release. May junior MPBL na which helps the youth program. May under 18, under 21. May under 16 pa yata. Hindi ko sure. I'm not privy to that. And then merong WMPBL for the female players.
Nice.
We're just praying that it would be sustainable kasi ang lahat ng negosyo kailangan may pumapasok eh. So para maging sustainable, hindi lang pwede si Senator Manny ang magbabayin, hindi lang pwede na laging yung house lang ang nagpopondo. We need everybody to fund it and hopefully there would be income generation in the future plans of the MPBL para maging sustainable to. Hindi naman pwedeng kawang gawa lang ni Senator Manny. Kasi yung huling interview niya kay late great Kuya Chino Trinidad, we love you. Sinabi niya nakaka 2 billion na daw siya eh. So kailangan yung mga stakeholders din mag-buy-in kasi if we want it to be sustainable, hindi naman pwedeng si Senator Manny lang. Pero ganun talaga siya magmahal eh. Iba si Boss Manny kaya ganyan din, very successful and iba nabibigay sa Pilipinas ng MPBL.
I mean, the fact that you have grassroots program already na may under 16 ka na goes to show that the commitment of Senator Manny Pacquiao wants that elevation from that level already. Bata pa lang, hinihinog ka na. So, We hope, the stakeholders have some more, gusto and not improvement, but more like involvement on that, commitment on that level.
And mostly on it's on the operations and financial side. Yun talaga yung kailangan in any league. If you have a solid infrastructure that could complement the league, na meron kang pondo and meron kang mga taong magpapatakbo ng pondo para ma-develop yung team, magiging sustainable naman.
Well, I trust naman in the operations of the MPBL.
Oo naman.
Siyempre, Coach Emer Oreta.
Yeah.
Hands down, also to Coach Emer. So, moving forward, Power Max says, much better if umakyat na sa PBA si Delta. Iba rin yung diskarte niya sa pag-manage ng coach ng players. Iba yung passion niya, sana wag na siyang harangin sa PBA. Yeah, I see that in him, no?
Oh.
The passion is there. The commitment is there. Being hands down is there.
Dapat din yun nga yung mga pinaakyat natin. Mahal yung ginagawa.
Mismo. And he's been there, he's been part of the basketball industry for so long. He's the reason why we have guys like Arwin Santos, Balti Baltazar, and a lot of other Kapampangan talent. Sa kabal ni Gov Delta nang galing yung mga yan. It's very good to see his grassroots program come to fruition dito sa mga players na to. And he's somebody that many of the basketball people in the country should emulate by starting them young, by discovering them young, and training them, taking care of them hanggang sa tumanda sila.
Yun na nga yung ginagawa ngayon Yung mga AAU, yung mga under 12, di pa uso yan ginagawa ni Gov Delta. Kaya wag niyong palabasin na kayo nag-develop ng ganyang recipe. Kasi 19 kopong batang-bata pa
It's been there.
Oo, sila Pet Duyag pa, sila Kuya Dave Bautista. Pero sandali Diyan na yung kinalakihan kasi may pakialam. Unang-una sa lahat, kababayan niya to
Yes.
May pakialam siya and hindi lang basta player yung tingin niya, para niyang mga anak.
Exactly.
So bakit mo ipe-prevent na hindi niya tinatratong commodity yung mga player? Kung gusto niya matulungan, iaakyat niya. Di ba? So, kung yung mga stakeholder na ganyan yung passion sa basketball, di natin pagbibigyan, paano tayo ma-develop? Kasi kailangan natin yung may mga taong may pakialam Kasi kung walang pakialam, ano lang yan? Para sa fans. Ganun lang yung mga banat yan. Pero ito kasi pag natatalo, alam mo, masakit na
dinadamdam talaga.
Para si Senator Jinggoy, di ba? Pag natatalo yung San Juan, unconsolable. Parang nakakaya mo.
I mean, magbintis pala ng free throw yung mga player niya. Si Senator Jinggoy, talagang bad trip yan.
Sabihin na natin kung anong gusto natin sabihin, pero itong mga taon to may pakialam na competitive sila and gusto nila na nananalo tayo na. Kaysa mag-import tayo ng mga kung sino-sino. Ito na lang yung mga pag-coaching natin. May pakialam talaga.
Yeah, so Gov Delta, honestly, hands down to you. When we see you on the sidelines, whatever league we see you in, hope to see more of you taking that kind of, diba? That kind of purpose and program for
more people to have heart like his for athletes.
Yeah, definitely. This is biases aside, I mean, biases aside talaga, we're just talking about the love for the game. So do you have any more social media comments, guys? Dapat ibenta na ang Pera Firma. Paki-note, Pera Firma, Terra Firma. Hindi naman sila seryoso sa pagsali sa PBA. So, ilan yung quality players na nakuha nila sa draft pero na-trade lagi? Trade ba o binibenta nila?
Oh my goodness. Wala namang
itong
price.
dropping dimes, consistent yan nagko-comment
mainit
parate.
Mainit
sa parate. Mainit. Kung sino man yung may-ari ng account na yan, salamat for giving a lot of life to the show all the time. But, for me, I think kailangan na siguro ipaalam ng Terra Firma management kung ano ba talaga yung plano nila for the near future. Para rin hindi na nagsasabi ng yung mga fans sa mga ganitong klaseng komento. Kasi ang sakit rin para sa liga. Honestly, it's bad publicity for them. I mean, they're dealing with a lot of things already. They don't want to have these kinds of things haunt them anymore, right?
We want the league back to its glory days.
Right? And things like this will not help at all.
Not at all.
Isang team lang ang dapat pumasok sa PBA. Strong group. Yung team na yan, I mean, not Converge, right? Their own squad. They can get talent, they can get import, they have infrastructure, they have very good coaches. Kasi pag let's say Gov Delta will coach Converge and then Strong Group enters the PBA, bakbakan na yan. Kasi alam mo, quality parehas yung dinadala nila. Hindi putyo-putyo eh.
Correct.
Pagka kumuha ng player kasi sila Boss Frank, talagang materialis fuertes. Yung pinakamagagaling na si Gob Delta naman, mula bata, nasa sala na niya. So, merong hopefully, ay yun yung ako, as a fan, thinking na, etong dalawang team na to dominant. Kailangan, pag pinasok natin to, hindi, makikipag-ngat-ngatan dun sa mga San Miguel, mga talk and text. That's a different subject for a different day. Pero ako tingin ko with the management, with the acumen, and now with the receipts that SGA has, they're ripe to be there and they deserve to be there. Parang alam natin na malakas tong team na to and they have very good coaches in their roster.
Yeah, those two guys you just mentioned, si Gob Delta at si Boss Frank.
At saka may pakialam eh.
Yeah.
Passionate sila dun sa sport.
These guys might just be the beacons of light that the PBA just needs for them to reclaim its glory days.
We want the league back. That's all I can say. Do we have any more from our social media accounts? I think that's it for now. So, na-cover na natin UAAP Final Four, the MPBL Finals in Dubai, and then Terra Firma, if they're going to stay in the PBA, should they not? And of course, our SPN expert picks of the NBA. So, wag niyo kalilimutan if you're new to this, guys, this is SPNation Season 2, and if you want to catch up on all that's happening in the world of sports, please sign up lang po sa sportsplus.ph. Now, nood po kayo every 6:30 p.m. here online. And of course, follow us on social media accounts because, we're bringing the best analysts, journalists on board para matulungan
The best
kayo.
hosts.
Wow, the best hosts.
Present?
Wow.
That's why I had to take a back
Cebu.
seat today because Celeb Guevara was coming in. I had to take a back seat and become a panelist because Celeb Guevara
Diba,
was
sabi, pare, may import, malakas.
Oo eh.
Import.
May import, malakas.
Grabe import.
Pare, nagmadali ako mula Ortigas. Sabi ko, hindi ako pwede matraffic ito. Di na ako
sinabi sa akin na maging analyst ako, tapos si Cel yung host, game, sige lang.
Take one for the team.
Fresh from Iloilo and Cebu, guys. Right here.
Grabe naman, kabababa lang ng eroplano. Dito binaba ng eroplano sa...
Dito! Sa mismo entrance na studio. Ay. So anyway, that's it for now. Again, guys, please, thank you for watching us here on SPNation Season 2. This has been Javi Palanya and Coach Hammer, a.k.a. Martin Antonio. And
Yan na talaga no?
Yeah.
Hindi na yung full name ko yung ginagamit.
For name recall din, tsaka yun,
Yes.
that's...
Branding.
Yeah.
Branding.
Yeah, that's you. So, and again, yours truly, Cel Guevara. And don't forget, this is Sports Plus PH. Watch this.
I was like on that last straw, and then I got the chance in the Philippines, and then I kind of guess my back was on the wall, and it just felt like I got to make this work.